In December 2021, a 5-year-old was reported missing after several calls to CPS were ignored, and the biological parents, who had a history of losing custody and could not account for their child's whereabouts. This explores the system that is supposed to protect children but failed this little girl so many times. Hello, welcome back to my channel where I deep dive into true crime, paranormal phenomena, cults, and history. Please like and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get into today's case. I'm discussing a 8-year-old girl who went missing when she was 4 in Washington State. She was not only failed by her parents, but the system built to protect children. Today I'm discussing the case of Oakley Carlson. This is her story. Today's case takes place in Oakville, Washington in 2021. Oakville is located in Grace Harbor and has a population of 722 people, making it a very small town. Oakley was born on December 6, 2016 to Jordan Bowers and Andrew Carlson. She was born in Oakville, Washington, just northeast of Olympia. She has 2 older siblings. Andrew was a police officer but was suspended for many reasons, including making false statements and using drugs. On September 22, 2017, after being removed from her parents' care, she was placed in the care of her foster parents, Jamie Jo and Eric Hiles, at 9 months old. Jamie Jo describes Oakley as a happy child who was always laughing. She could make everyone around her smile. She thrived once in the care of the couple and became very smart. It was not long before she could speak in sentences. Oakley loved to have dance parties, specifically to the Beach Boys song, Barbara Ann. Jamie Jo said she wanted to hear the song multiple times a day. Jamie Jo said her foster daughter radiated love. The couple was working on adopting Oakley because they wanted to give her the best life possible. The case was changed from reunification to adoption in July 2018 because domestic violence and drug use continued in her absence. Andrew was arrested at this time for domestic violence after attacking Jordan. He was ordered to undergo DV evaluation and complete treatment, but it was clear that he was not interested in improving. He soon got kicked out of meetings for lack of attendance. Despite this, in 2019, the couple was informed that Oakley would be returned to her birth parents. Jamie Jo and Eric were devastated. The couple vocally fought this. During visits, Oakley came home upset, diaper not changed, and sometimes with marks. When they reported this, the DCYF shut the family down, the only people to care about her. Initially, Oakley would return to Jordan and Andrew after the holidays, but she moved back into their care after Thanksgiving. Back in the care of Andrew and Jordan, Oakley shared the home with her older half-brother, who was partially with his dad, her older sister, and younger brother. They had a history of losing custody of their kids, not just Oakley. Jordan openly told the social worker that she knew how to pass a drug test. DCFS could not verify that the drugs were not used in the home or around the kid. They also neglected one of the other children's medical needs, even after receiving help with gas. All of this should have led the children to being removed. In December 2020, Oakley spent Christmas with her paternal grandparents, Kate and Fred Carlson. They noticed that her skin was pale, her eyes had dark circles, and she had sores all over her face. There are conflicting reports about this. Basically, Kate told Jamie, the foster mom, and begged her to call CPS. Kate told her that they could not do it and that they would have to be careful with Andrew in order to still see the kids. Jamie reported it herself, but CPS told her it was a crime to report false allegations. She stood her ground and insisted that she was being truthful, and it was her duty as a mandated reporter. The last sighting of Oakley was on February 10, 2021 by a person close to the family. Before the police became aware of this sighting, they believed her last known sighting to be January 27th. 10 months later, on November 6, 2021, Jordan and Andrew's home mysteriously caught fire. Andrew told police after the fact that he spent 4 hours putting the fire out. He claimed that they did not call 911 because they could not locate their cell phones. He also said that Oakley started the fire by playing with a lighter and igniting the flame on the couch. Finding this suspicious, the police investigated the fire further and found out the fire actually started in the microwave in the kitchen. When she heard about the fire, Principal Jessica Swift checked on the family and brought them supplies. Her visit lasted 45 minutes, and when asked about Oakley, they told her that she was in her room. When she returned to check on the family on a different day, they told Jessica that Oakley was living back with her foster parents. Jessica's daughter was friends with Oakley's 6-year-old sister and often visited the house. On December 4th, Jessica had her over for a sleepover. When asked about Oakley, her sister became very upset and said, "Oakley is no more." When pressed for information, Oakley's sister said she was back with the Hiles. Jessica became alarmed when she noticed that the girl got sad. She asked Jordan if she could stay another night because the girls were having fun together. Jessica contacted CPS and informed Oakley was not in the care of the foster parent. The next day, December 5th, Jessica filed a report with Grays Harbor County's Sheriff Department requested a welfare check. At this time, Jordan and Andrew resided at a local motel because the motel was located outside of the jurisdiction of the Grays Harbor Sheriff's Department. The welfare was conducted by Tumwater Police. Andrew told the police that Oakley was staying with his parents, but could not give them a number. After he finally found their number and the police contacted them, they informed them that they have not seen or heard from Oakley since December 2020. When telling Andrew that his parents did not have her, the police noticed that he did not seem surprised. Jordan did not want to cooperate to help find her daughter. The next day, Andrew reported Oakley missing, which is very suspicious. Jordan also factory reset her phone. They eventually told the police that they last seen their daughter on November 30th, 2021. After conducting a search for Oakley's family home, police found no toys or clothes belonging to her. They found blood on the front door, blinds, and a bloody handprint on the wall of the downstairs hallway. Although the police never announced who the blood belonged to, they had stated they suspect foul play. Police arrested Andrew and Jordan for obstruction of law enforcement and first-degree manslaughter charges. On December 7th, as the search for Oakley continued, police asked the public to look out for her. The next day, the sheriff's office announced that after learning that the couple failed to give her sister the prescription medicine she needed, they added the charge of abandonment of a dependent person to the couple's existing charges. The lack of medicine could cause her physical impairment and even death. Soon after the police interviewed Oakley's sibling, they told them their parents told them not to talk about her. After some time, her sister told the police that Oakley wandered off into the woods and was eaten by wolves, according to their mother. Her younger brother told police that Jordan beat Oakley with a bell and confined her in a closet under the staircase, which made him scared that she would starve. He also discussed the fire and said Oakley did not leave the house that night. During their investigation, police became aware that the couple neglected to get their other daughter proper medical care and medicine for 15 months. On December 9th, 2022, they were charged with second-degree abandonment of a dependent person, and bail was set at $150,000. The next day, the children were brought into DCYF to give hair samples and tested positive for high levels of methamphetamine, proving that they either exposed their children to the drug or ingested it somehow. In January 2022, after learning that the couples exposed the children to meth, the police charged them both with 2 counts of child endangerment with a controlled substance. Jamie and Eric joined supporters outside the jail to demand answers about Oakley. In March 2022, Andrew pleaded guilty to his charges. Because he had no prior criminal history, he was sentenced to 12 months in prison and was eligible for release in August. In August 2022, Andrew was released and resided in Wenatchee, Washington. He was supposed to attend a chemical dependency hearing, but after he failed to show up, a bench warrant was issued. The warrant was squashed after he appeared at the criminal hearing. After delays, he finally had his hearing to prove he completed his treatment program. He was ordered to have evaluation conducted and a treatment plan in place. In April, Jordan pleaded guilty to the exact charges as Andrew. The court sentenced her 22 months in prison. In January, after being released from prison, Jordan was arrested and charged with fraud and identity theft for fraudulent banking activity unrelated to Oakley's disappearance. On July 24th, 2023, Jordan pleaded guilty to 3 counts of first-degree identity theft and 1 count of second-degree identity theft. She agreed to 36-month sentence and victim restitution and is eligible for community service, formerly called parole. Her sentence was increased to 43 months, and the restitution was over $26 million. She was released from prison on September 23, 2025. They did, however, declare Oakley deceased and are in talks with the prosecutor's office to pursue a no-body murder case. On July 16th, Jamie and Eric Hiles hosted a Paint the Night Pink auction with Light the Way Missing Persons Advocacy Group. They raised $50,000 towards Oakley's reward fund. In January 2023, the Oakley-Carlson Act was created by Representative Jim Walsh, was referred to the Human Services, Youth, and Early Learning Committee as House Bill 1397. Bill urged the community to vote on a bill because children in these situations need protection, but they refused to do so. The bill would have made the check-ins process for the family with a history of substance abuse harder and mandated more drug tests. The Hiles held a book drive in 2023 in honor of Oakley. The books would go to local foster visitation centers, daycares, and libraries. Her foster parents continue to fight for answers about their daughter's disappearance and still organize events to get her face out there and raise money. Unfortunately, the case has stopped with no new news besides the occasional statement that the police will investigate it. Anyone with information about Oakley Carlson's whereabouts or the family is encouraged to contact the Sheriff's Department Investigation Division. I'll leave the information in a pinned comment. With all the evidence against Jordan and Andrew, my opinion is that they are responsible for Oakley's disappearance. I have to mention the theory that they sold Oakley because Jordan had a gambling addiction. As much as I would like to believe Oakley is alive somewhere, I do not think she made out of that house alive. Her siblings stated they all made it out except for Oakley. What about them saying the wolves in the woods ate poor Oakley? They could have killed her, taken her body to the woods, and burnt the house to get rid of evidence. I do not necessarily count out that she died of exposure to meth, since other siblings had extreme amount in their system. The obvious change needs to come from the agencies like CPS, which is meant to protect children. If a parent actually tries to get help, reuniting the family is ideal, but this process could be gradual and follow-up is necessary. The Hiles family wanted to adopt Oakley and help her flourish. She never got the chance to live her life and fulfill her potential. I find myself wondering what kind of adult she could have been. My only hope is that someday we get answers and Oakley gets the justice she deserves. Thank you for taking the time to listen to Oakley's story, and take care. I want to know your opinion, but please be respectful. I believe in rational discussions. It could allow us to think about things differently. Comment, subscribe, and like. If you have any other future cases you'd like me to cover, please request a case using my form in the description. Join me next time for Wicked Wednesday when I discuss a case of a vulnerable girl who was abused and taken advantage of and ended up murdered. Until next time, stay curious, cautious, and safe. I do not want to make a video about you. And if you are a social worker, take foster parents' concerns seriously. Okay, bye.